Hello and a warm welcome to my channel where I cover stocks and derivative data almost on a daily basis. Now, in this video, I've covered Infosys, India's flagship IT company and one of the biggest outperformers, wealth creators of the last 3 decades. Now, what better way to start it than looking at the quarterly chart of the stock back from 1996 till date after this chart is post adjustments of dividend and splits and bonuses, etc. So here we have, and it's been a wonderful journey for Infosys. And if we look at it from an Ichimoku point of view, that the investor who got into it, even say all the way back in 2008 or 2012, has had a wonderful run without the trail stop loss being taken out even once. The baseline has never been violated at all, as you can see out here. Just tells you about the strength of the stock, which we all know, but from a chart perspective point of view, when you look at it and see that, that on time and again, that it has been a superb performer, not just from that point of view, that every time it has come down to this Ichimoku baseline support in this quarterly chart, we can see the stock bouncing back from there, here also, and now very, very close to that. So where is the baseline support in this case? It is now at 1140. It doesn't mean that it will come down all the way to 1140 interest. It can turn before that. It could even go and test that, go a bit down and turn, as we saw in this case out here, and also in this particular case once very early in its early days of formation in the chart. Now let's have a look at what the monthly chart is telling us from similarly from that angle. And here also in the monthly chart, you can see that the stock has never violated the Ichimoku cloud. It has, except for this small instance of during the subprime crisis. Once it took off in 2003, you can see always comes, gets protected out there, gets protected again, gets protected even in the COVID lows, and now coming very, very close to that cloud support also out here. Fantastic chart, fantastic story. Everybody knows about it, but from a graphical explanation, and for those who are new to the market, trying to tell to them that how investors, how funds, how ETFs pick up winners and continue to hold them for a longer period of time. Let's have a look at the weekly chart and try to decode out here what has the stock done. Here the weekly chart of course looks quite weak from technical point of view. Everything is below the cloud. Everything is the equilibrium is more for a sell signal right now out here. But from harmonic point of view, we have a bullish harmonic setup which happened out here from where the stock did a small down, apart from the fact that the stock also had a Ichimoku price theory target achievement right in the weekly out here. So this is a bullish harmonic alt bat pattern, and which saw the reversal taking place in it in the weekly time frame out here. You can see that here beautifully, and it held on to it and turned. It also was a Ichimoku price theory target also. We saw this happening out here from where this has happened, and now it tried to push its way up from here. The minimum expected target, probable targets, not guaranteed, probable targets of this pullback as per the harmonic pattern is around 1400 and then 15 to 1590, 1600 on the upside. Now let's try to again look at it from a lower time frame point of view, which is the daily one. But before going to the daily one, I would like to look at the option data and the futures data, because daily and hourly would require us to even look at the derivative aspect. So let's try to study that also and decode what's happening there. Now in the Infosys June settlement weekly options or monthly options, we can see that on Friday, that is June the 9th, there was a considerable amount of call OI additions out here. IT stocks have been on a selling pressure slightly this week, as we can see out here. There is no put covering, which is again, when because there is very little put writing out here. OI interest is very low, but there is nothing huge. There's no huge wall as a support happening. These walls are very small compared to the wall that we see out here. So from a June settlement point of view, the OI data is suggesting that unless it pushes its way above this 1280 to 1300 line, 1300 is a psychological factor, must have seen a lot of OI beforehand also, but 1280 I would say is more crucial. It needs to push its way up. Otherwise, this could act like a further wall in the immediate short term from an option the trader's point of view out here. So let's have a look at now what the future open interest is also telling us in this case. Now, in the future open interest, we can see a 6% increase in OI with almost 3% decline in price over 5 days. On the 9th of June, Friday, there was some considerable OI addition compared to the price of 1.5%. So yes, in the last 5-day movement, the signal from the futures, which is extreme short-term trading zone, is a bit weak, which we have seen in IT stocks. So Infosys being a large weight, the second highest percentage holder in the IT index, this impact is quite natural to come from there. Now let's have a look at the daily and the hourly chart to further decode what's happening in the case of Infosys. Before I go there, just a reminder to those who want to learn technical analysis, a specialized kind of harmonic trading patterns, Ichimoku multi-time frame, and trading psychology risk management. My courses are available. The video, PDF, hand-holding, and guidance follow through one-on-one with me to clarify your doubts and also to confirm your interpretation of the study. Those who go for the trading psychology and risk management classes will get 10 exclusive one-on-one sessions with me, where each session we will be learning how to further reduce our risk, complement different kinds of actions and signals from the market, and focus a lot on trading discipline, which is extremely important because people tend to overrate analysis and underrate trading discipline, which should be the other way around. So a lot of focus is done there. A lot of focus is done on how to assess what kind of risk as an individual you are capable of taking, or what you should be taking before trying to get into a trade. In the Ichimoku and Harmonic course, it's a detailed course, each video going into more than 3 hours with explanations of each and every kind of scenario, bullish, bearish, sideways, with lots and lots of examples. Not a single factor has been left out, which will keep you in a doubt. Very comprehensive and to the point study. So the detail is there in the description box. Please go through it. And if you have any doubts or want to confirm, shoot out an email to me and I will come back to you in that matter. Now let's get back to the chart. Now in the daily time frame, we can see that the stock did cut through above the baseline. So Ichimoku traders generally cut their shorts once the baseline is cut and wait for a reversal confirmation of signal to go long, or once again, if the weakness comes after a pullback is over, to resume shorting. Now here, the shorting signal, at least in the daily time frame, is missing. It's just a little bit of profit booking which has taken place inside the cloud, an area of uncertainty and an area of lot of volatility. So most Ichimoku traders tend to avoid a trade in that zone in which they are focusing and trading. Also, one more important fact, that after this harmonic pattern low and the Ichimoku price theory low, the stock in the lower time frame is making higher lows out here, at least till now, and higher highs are also being made in the lower time frame. So if this decline, which we are option data and the future data saying, going to make yet another higher low, or is it going to sink further? Let's again go a bit more deeper, this time to the hourly time frame. So in the hourly time frame, we can see that gone below the cloud out here. So the next major stop out here for the stock is around to 1225, which has got a lot of fractals in it. And the similar scenario can be seen here also in the daily time frame. Here we go. So 1225 to 1200 is going to be a very crucial factor. And even in the option data, we saw that zone is going to, that's where the put writers are sitting in decent quantities. So that could work like a good decent wall. Failure to hold this 1200 to 1225 level in the short term, or would could lead to further decline for the stock, where it would come down to the cloud and the quarterly baseline support of 1140. And because quarterly charts are going to be June, then the next one will be September end. If in case it breaks, then we have a next support at 1000. Only if this particular cloud support, as we have seen in the past cases, also fails to hold this, then the stock could be in some crisis and further push its way down towards 700 odd levels. But it's too far-fetched to consider that such events will happen. If it were to happen, we must take things at a level at a time, especially for a stock which has been an outperformer and is known to bounce back from certain particular levels. We should look at it from that angle right now. So let's come back to see that in case these levels of 1200 to 1225 hold, where can this stock further go up to? So the first and foremost one for me, immediate, supposing it bounces back from here itself and does not go down, turns up from here, then this is a gap out here which took place at 1280, 1300. That's my first immediate resistance in case the stock tries to push its way, say from this cloud support itself, or maybe from here, tries to push its way up. So this is the first zone of resistance. If it takes out this 1280, 1300, which is also what the option data is suggesting to us, then the next major resistance comes here. First is a minor one at 1325 because it has already attempted it one, but the bigger one is at 1360, 70 out here, which is the upper end of the gap up. So that would be one level I would be keeping my eyes on for now. So I would say the first one would be 1280, 1300. Then I would be looking at 1350 to 75 as my next hindrance of the up move. Then the next one is quite high up, around 1450, which is the 38% of the Ichimoku, the harmonic reversal all back that we saw. Then further pushing its way up towards 1550 to 1600. Now let's see if the weekly time frame is also suggesting similar stuff to us as a clarification of our trend bias, with whether we are doing it correctly or not. So yeah, this is one, the drop 1330, next one at 1425. This one out here is the baseline, which will be around 1350, 75, matches with the daily resistance. Then the next one is the Fibonacci one at 1425.50. The bigger one is all at 1600. So scope for the stock, if this particular level holds, very important that it starts holding, would be at these particular levels, as we can see the push like this. This is the big one out here, 1600, which will play a part where we could see, and it's not necessary that the stock will do a straight away one-way move up. It could be a lot of consolidation. It could lead to a lot of zigzag, but these are probable levels which I can right now see as possibilities happening in the market. Also, if we look at the monthly Ichimoku time frame chart, the monthly baseline which has got cut out here is also at 1525. So that's again where the weekly and daily also are showing a resistance. So at a stage where right now one could wait for 1225, 1200 before attempting a long with a small risk or above 1275, 1300, where the momentum would get faster. For immediate short-term down moves for a couple of days, yes, the stock could go down. One could trade it using a lower time frame towards that. It's an optional uh, total thing. But the other part which I wanted to show you all out here is that apart from the Ichimoku support that we can spot all around, which I spoke about the baseline and the cloud, the beauty about technical charts and how the stock behaves each time there is a retracement. Every time when the stock is ruled out that it's going to crash, it's going to do X, Y, Z, the stock bounces back. It has a history of doing well up after it bounces, and you can see out here that each fall has led to a much larger appreciation, larger rally coming out of it. So why should we rule out the same again this time? Will this also be the same case? Let's try to further analyze this portion of it. So the first one you can see is 62% out here. And let's go up further again. This one also is 50% out here. Right? Now let's have a look at the next one. This one is also 50%. Now let's have a look at the next one. This is a little bit more, 78, but this was the COVID low. We know what happened to the market then, but also at the same time, you can see it here in the COVID low, the bounce back from that 78% is extremely sharp out here. You can see, so it was actually roughly 50%, not even 62. The portion below 52, 72 was a quick dash down and a quick recovery taking place out there. Now let's have a look at the current scenario of how the retracement from these COVID lows, that is 2020 March low to the high of January 2022 looks like. It's at 50%. So 62% at 1000. We know the quarterly baseline support is also there at that zone. So is Ichimoku a stock where one should rule out that it's a mega turnaround or it's gone finished or not? The call is an investor and a trader. It's how you look at the market, how you look at it from your bias, how you look at it as independently as possible based on the history of the stock. Now, of course, there are stocks which have topped out, which have not recovered at all, but will Infosys come under that category or will it continue to rise? The chart suggests that yes, they have a potential of going on. Now, again, it does not mean that if it is turning from here, it's going to turn all the way up and non-stop from here. We could also see a scene like this, come back here near this 1000 odd level, complete the 62% pullback out here, and then start another big uptrend. Anything possible, probable. In charts, we don't know anything as 100% accurate. What we know is all about probability of what could happen tomorrow, because that's what markets are, uncertainty. We try to decode them accordingly and move ahead. In a brief way to put it, Infosys is a strong stock coming to a good value buy zone or already in a value buy zone. So as investors, people who missed out on the earlier rallies could take an opportunity with good risk management support out here, do a pyramid kind of investing in this and take it forward from here. Now, this disclaimer, this is not a trading advice or an investing advice from my side. Please do your thorough research before coming to a conclusion whether you need to invest in it or whether you need to trade, whether you want to short it, whether you want to go long in it. It's your call. You must do a thorough study and always manage your risk and decide your stop loss apart from the target you have in mind. I hope these videos have helped to you. So please don't forget to like it, share the video, and also subscribe to the channel. Until then, happy investing.